while he's telling you this,
What do you want?
As much as I hate to admit it, I need your help. That signal you shut down in DRB territory. It's been active for almost a year.
You're telling me someone outside this company has had access to our network since before the first attack?
I've detected intrusions before and shut them down swiftly every time. But whoever designed this particular algorithm is good. Very good.
You've told Sarif?
See, here's the thing. The intrusions were possible because of a backdoor access into our security system that I never even knew existed.
The one Sanders' team used to get inside our plant.
I've worked here for 7 years, Jensen, and this is the first time I've seen that particular access route. David Sarif created it specifically to bypass the firewall. He's hiding something, and I think you should find out what it is.
Why me?
Because, as far as I can tell, Sarif created that access and was streaming a lot of data through it shortly after your ex-girlfriend suggested he hire you.
I saw William Taggart in the building earlier. Guy's got balls coming here.
Excuse me.
Mr. Jensen, isn't it?
Sir, you have that charity dinner?
In a moment, Isaiah. I was hoping I might run into you, Mr. Jensen. Bill Taggart.
The founder of the Humanity Front. I know who you are.
Yes, I imagine you do. As David Sarif's top security man, I imagine you have quite the file on me. But I assure you, Mr. Jensen, I am devastated by recent events.
Really?
I do not support what you and your company are doing to mankind. I believe it's extremely dangerous. But abolishing human enhancement technologies will only be achieved through legal means.
I'll keep that in mind.
This is your first day back since the accident 6 months ago, isn't it?
Sir, we have to go.
What happened to me was no accident.
Ah, my mistake. But it must have been stressful facing down a second incident so soon. I imagine it brought back all kinds of unpleasant memories.
I appreciate your concern, Mr. Taggart, but it was nothing I couldn't handle.
I'm a psychologist, Mr. Jensen. I know when a man is hiding behind words. The flesh may heal, but the mind is not always so resilient. You might want to keep that in mind. Now, if you'll be so kind as to excuse me.
I'm curious about something, Mr. Taggart. What is it you hope to accomplish by coming here tonight?
I would think that would be obvious. Your company has been viciously targeted. The violence and bloodshed that's occurred, it must be stopped. But I'm afraid it won't be until men of wisdom and understanding come to an agreement.
About what?
About the future, Mr. Jensen. This enhancement technology threatens to change the course of human evolution, to redefine what it even means to be human. You think governments can afford to let that go unregulated?
You can't stop progress, Mr. Taggart.
Perhaps not. But neither can we afford to sit by and watch it happen on its own. Not when we have the ability, the collective will, and foresight to influence it.
I see. Thank you for illuminating me.
Anytime.
Boss, we need to talk.
Is something wrong?
I'm not sure. Did you set up a private access route to bypass the company firewall right before you hired me?
I what?
Pritchard said someone's been using it to access our system since before the first attack. The security measures he and I set in place never stopped them because we didn't even know the loophole existed.
Oh, I see. Frank's fixed that, though, right?
He has now, but he's wondering why you never mentioned it.
Frank's paranoid, Adam. You know that. Can a busy man forget things once in a while?
You streamed an awful lot of data through that portal, boss. Right before you brought me on board. Pritchard may be paranoid, but I gotta admit, I'm wondering what was in it too.
Yeah, as an ex-cop, I guess you would. But the important thing is you found the hole and plugged it. We're secure now. And the information you uncovered in that FEMA facility may actually help us track these guys. So let's just stay focused on what's important.
Of course, you're right. And maybe Pritchard's paranoia is rubbing off on me. It's just that the timing seems so strange, right before you hired me. Don't you think it might be more than a coincidence?
I guess I can see why you'd think that, given everything you've been through recently. But there's something you're not getting here, Adam. Business is war, with no clear battleground and no rules to keep our enemies honest. In this company, I'm the commander-in-chief, and I have to be ready for anything, and I will do anything to ensure that I am. Now, I hired you because I needed a general I could trust, one who knows how to obey orders.
Whoa, don't get me wrong, boss. I'm not questioning your leadership. I'm just concerned that the data you streamed might have been compromised, accessed by the hacker who attacked us. If so, how do you suggest I handle it?
Good question. I guess we should consider every possibility. Your concerns about the data being compromised won't really be an issue as long as we stay strong and work together as a team. That's all I've ever tried to do here. Find the best, most qualified people I can, and bring them all together so they can complement each other. Now, Megan understood that. That's why she suggested I hire you in the first place. To help this little family of ours survive.
Boss, I never meant to imply... Look, I'll back off, if that's what you want. But when you start dragging Megan into this, it puts me on the defensive.
Well, I guess I can see why it would. The data you're so nervous about is little more than a bunch of routine, fact-finding reports, the kind of stuff I deal with every day. Megan pointed me in a direction and I followed up on it, that's all. And now that I've shared this much with you, I have to ask how your knowing the fine details will keep the rest of us any more secure. Can't you trust me to take care of things from here?
Boss, I'm sorry if you think this is a big waste of time. I just don't want to see anyone else getting hurt because of information I didn't have. But if you really believe this data can't hurt us, that it won't come back somehow and bite us in the ass, then I'll trust you.
I can't be 100% sure of something like that, Adam. No one can. God damn it. All right. Look, the truth is, I set up a confidential data channel for a private investigator, someone who can run covert background checks on people, potential new recruits, like you.
You what?
I had to, Adam. You were a liability, remember? You'd just been fired from SWAT. Now, Megan believed in you, but I had to be sure. Look, I don't want this to come between us. I'll send the files to your computer. You can see for yourself what he dug up. But Adam, you'd better be sure.
Why? What do you mean?
I mean, sometimes the past should stay in the past. Once you see that data, you can't unring the bell. When you're ready, come back and talk to me. We need to discuss our next move.
Athena tells me you spoke to Sarif. Did he happen to tell you why he made us look like idiots?
I'm handling it.
You can imagine how relieved I am to hear that. I'll tell you what. While you follow any lead Sarif spoon-feeds you, I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place and backtrace that signal.
That's your pride talking. Still, get back to me if you find something.
You meant when?
Pretty sure I didn't.
Here, this is for you. It's a corporate passport encoded with your biometrics. I've set up a false flag routing which should get you to Henshaw Island without any problems.
You're sending me to China? What about FEMA?
FEMA's got nothing to do with this, trust me. We'll have better luck in China.
How can you say that? I saw the bastard who killed Megan pulling his men out of that facility. I left one of those men dead in its underground storage bay.
I know that, Adam. Frank was monitoring the whole thing. So I also know that before he died, that man gave you an address in China. I want you to check it out.
That doesn't make any sense.
Look, Adam. There's a reason this company's under attack. You think it has to do with the Typhoon or with some other top-secret military project that I haven't told you about?
The thought had crossed my mind.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. The work Megan's team was doing before they were killed, it was redefining what it means to be human. This company, Seraph Industries, was about to lead mankind to its next stage in human development. Self-controlled evolution. Can't you see how scary that can be to some people?
Sure. I also see how lucrative it can be for some others.
It's never been about money for me, Adam. But you're right. There are people out there who don't exactly feel the same.
Like who?
I'm hoping you'll be able to find that answer for us in China. So get going. Farida's prepping the chopper.
for staff reports. Never seen Frank this stressed out about something. What? This magnitude? It's like our entire network is violated. I don't know, but he's got a shitload of new code. All the passwords he has to reset. Ouch. Everybody's so stressed. Just saw Taggart and his lapdog in here. What a couple of hypocrites. Yes, hello?
That won't be a problem.
Real shame what happened at your factory tonight. My condolences.
We'll talk.
Retired millionaire.
I will not be accompanying Mr. Taggart to the charity dinner tonight. I must head to Utah.
Hey, Jensen. The boss said you were on your way. You're gonna love Hengsha.
You've been there?
Used to live there. I spent 3, maybe 4 years working in the upper city, and most of my nights having fun in the lower one. You ready to go?
Not yet. I've got some things to finish up before we go.
Don't take too long. I'm itching to brush up on my Chinese. Ready to head?
I thought I was. How long is this gonna take, Malik?
You mean the flight or the fun afterward? Don't worry, we'll be there before you know it. Climb in. Jensen, you might want to get ready. The jewel of the Yangtze approaches.
Son of a bitch. I'm supposed to find answers in that.
Hey, twice the scum and half the space. Hang on, we're going in. The address you got off that Merc, Hengsha Court Gardens. It's a bit of a walk from here in the Yuzhou district, but I figured it might be best not to drop you too close.
In case Barrett only gave up the address, knowing I'd walk into another trap.
It's the kind of thing I'd do to an enemy. You want my advice? Just find out who lives there and get out.